Hello everybody. In this video I show you how to create a header and a footer to an ALV grid. I show you how to use the different text objects and how to format them. For this video I have already prepared some code. This code is from one of my former videos and it shows how to create a SARF table. I will link this video in top right corner. And yes. So what I do here, I read some data from the database, from the table sflat. I write this data in my internal table. And then I display this data here with this method. So let's check the code and run the code. Yes, this is my a normal table. Here I display the data from the table sflat. Okay, now let's start with the header. First, we want to create a header object. And for this, I write data o_grid_header equals new. It's a class CL_SARF form layout grid. And we create a header object here. And the next thing is we want to display a header line. So we write o_grid_header. And we call the method create header information. And here we have some parameters. Parameter for the row, the column, and the text. We set here 1 and 1, and the text itself, I write here header line. Okay, and now we need another call to display the header information. And here we write o_SARF, and we call here the method setTopOfList. And we pass here the object o_grid_header. Okay, so let's activate the code and run. And here we see the header line. Okay, let's go back. And the next component I want to show is the action text. For this I write o_grid_header, and I use here another method, create action information. And here I pass the parameters row, column, and text as well. Now we use the second row, first column, and the text is action text. Action text. Okay, so let's activate and run the code. Okay, there was a mistake. I called the wrong method. Here it's the header method again, but we need the action method. So let's run again. Yes, and here we see our action text. Okay. Then we also can show some floating text. And for this we write O_grid header. And we call the method create flow. Exporting row and column. Now we use the third row and column 1. Okay, I see there's a blank too much. We delete this. Yes. And then we call the method create text. And we write here text equals header flow. So it's the floating text for the header. And we display another line. So I copy this and I write here in the next column, for example, column 3, I write here the text floating text. So let's activate and run the code. And here we see our floating text. Okay. So the next option is to display a Groupbox. For this we write, we create a new object. I call it O_group_head equals new class salve form Groupbox. And the name of the Groupbox, beziehungsweise the parameter header is Groupbox. The name of the Groupbox is Groupbox. Okay, then we write O_grid_header. And we use the method setElement with the parameters row and column and rElement. We write row equals 4, column equals 1, and r_element equals O_group_head. It's our object. Next, we declare another object called O_group_head_grip. And this is O_group_head. And here we call the method create grid. Next line. Is O_group_head_grip. And the method set grid lines. And if sarf form C grid lines, we set here no lines. We can set here also grid lines or horizontal lines and so on. Okay, then let's activate the code. Okay. Okay, it's not from Groupbox, it's from Groupbox. So let's change this and activate and run. Okay, here we see our Groupbox. And next, we want to write some text, some labels in this Groupbox. And for this, we write data O label 1. It's the object for our first label. It's O underscore group head grid. And we call the method create label with our three parameters, row, column, and text. And we set the row and the column to 1, and we write label 1 as text. And I use here string templates. Okay. So we created the object for the label. And next we create the text. So I write O underscore text underscore 1. And for this we can copy this label line. And we have only to change the method from label to text. And the column to 2. And the text itself, text 1. So let's activate the code. And let's see. Here we see in our Groupbox the label 1 and the text 1. So now let's add another label and another text in the same Groupbox. For this we copy these two lines. We change our two objects from 1 to 2. And we change the text and label strings as well. And we set the column for the second label to 3 and for the second text to 4. And then we see our two labels and our two texts in the Groupbox. Okay, that was it with the header. The next step is to set a footer. And for this we create a footer object. So we write data O underscore grid underscore footer is new CL sarf form layout grid. And for the footer, we can use the same action text as for the header. And so let's copy this header code or this action text code. And the only difference is that we have to change the object from header to footer. So let's activate. Okay. Our footer is missing because I forgot one thing. If we want to display the footer, we have to call a method O underscore sarf and the method set end of list. with the object. We pass here the object O underscore grid underscore footer. So activate and let's run again. Yes, and here we see the footer text. And you can see we can scroll the text and the data, and the header and the footer is fixed. Okay, the next step is to show the floating text in the footer. For this we can copy this floating text from the header as well. We put it here. We change the object from header to footer. And we change the text to footer text. Activate and run. Okay, and here we see our floating text. Okay, and it's the same with the Groupbox. I write the first line of the Groupbox and create my new object. O group footer is new CL sarf form Groupbox. With the Groupbox title. So header equals the Groupbox title. It's called Groupbox. So now we have created this object, and let's copy the next lines. We put it here, and we change the object names here from header to footer and from head to foot. And the same in the next line, foot grid. Foot grid and activate. And we see the Groupbox is visible now and displayed. And normally you can use the same text objects in the footer as in the header, except the headline. And yes, let's display some label and some text beside the Groupbox, not in it. For this, I copy this text from the header. I change the objects to 3. Then I change the label and the text. And I change the objects from header to footer. Grid footer. Then I change the row and the column to 4 and the text row 4 and column 5. And I change the label text and the text as well to 3. Okay, and now I write O underscore label 3. I set the label for the text 3. Set label for object text _3. Okay, so let's activate and run the code. And here we see our footer information and the header information. The Groupbox is empty because we displayed the label and the text beside the Groupbox. As you can see, you can use different text objects in the footer and in the header. Yes, that was it already. I hope you liked this video. If this so, I would be happy if you subscribe my channel and watch some other videos from it. Hope we see us soon in some of my next videos. Thank you and goodbye.